Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about one thing. One subject is peace for the world. Why do I want to talk about this subject? Because nowadays, recently, I surf internet and I came across quite a lot of news articles and terrible things online, like warfares around the world in the Middle East, in the North Africa, and I read about stories I saw the videos of terrible executions, like innocent lives were killed during the Nazi Germany Nazi execution of Jews. Compared with those things, I think are just so lenient. I can say Nazi Germany, because the Jews were killed in gas chamber. That's quite fast, gas chamber, you just poison to death. But in most of warfares, many of our warfares, people are tortured to death. Tortured, they were stoned to death, and all those terrible things. They were burned to death, and they were slowly chopped to death. Or especially the Japanese soldiers in China, they line up, like 100 soldiers. They line up to the Japanese 100 over Japanese soldiers, like the highest rank queue in front, so the lowest rank queue behind, and they just rape a Chinese woman, and then rape, and then eventually kill her. And they don't kill her very fast. They kill her very slowly. They use sword to penetrate through her stomach, and she's still alive. Because its stomach is not your heart, and not your throat. If the sword went inside your neck or your heart, you probably die fast. But it's just stomach, you die slowly. Oh, okay, enough of this. I think even in countries without international warfares, even the government itself don't treat the people well. For example, the communist government. I just came across this video. The like police in China, they beat up their own people. For example, there was like Chengguan, the city police in China. They just they gang up together and beat up a guy, and there are like 150 and like 50 or 70 or hundreds over police. They just beat up a innocent, not unarmed Chinese guy, and they just kick him and slap him and punch him and boom, and after then this guy fell onto the ground, and I don't know what happened to him. And the police don't stop there. The police continue to find other Chinese men to slap and hit, punch and kick until the man fall on the ground. I think this world is just crazy, and really, all the things going on, like school violence, and all the violence. I saw this video on YouTube. There's young Chinese beggar, a beggar like 5 or 4 years old beggar, and then I think this is happened in North China or something. And then a guy just like in his 20s just stand up and kill the boy. Kill the boy just because the boy begged him for money, and then he didn't want to give, and he just kicked him and he kicked him for once, and then the boys said something I couldn't hear clearly, like the boy talked back, and then he continued to kick the boy once more. He gave very hard kick into his stomach. Oh, I think this is really terrible. And I know, the warfare, all the things going on in Middle East, Syria, Pakistan, and Brazil, everything, Mexico, drug trafficking, and those things, and in North Korea, things like people are starved to death, and just so terrible. And just a few days ago, I was at a train station, and I saw this boy, like 7 or 8 years old boy, and I think he's like Russian or Eastern European, and then he just slapped an Asian boy, like I think it's his classmate, just slapped his classmate, an Asian boy. I think he just slapped, and then the other boy said, I'm sorry, and then he just gave him another slap. Okay, I didn't have the courage to stand up, cause I'm quite, quite a shy person, and I think, what's really going on, man, and I saw things, also America is a democratic country. The government is more lenient than the other oppressive government in the world. But if the government don't oppress you, the people in your country can be very low quality as well. People, and I saw this video like in New York, and then a man was pushed down the train track. I think this is really terrible, man. And then what happened? And then the man just died because the train was coming, and then he couldn't climb up the train station. I think this is really terrible. I think train stations, all the train stations around the world should build a barrier. I think the train station, on the train track, beside the train track, I think all the train stations around the world, on the platform, they should at least build a 1.8 meter tall, or 1.6 meter or 5 feet tall wall, wall with a gate, a barrier, so as to prevent people from like pushing one person down the track. But this is really terrible. I really don't know what's going on with the world. I think, and I saw this video, people beat up thief. They beat up thief. They lynch the thief. They just use a stone and tree trunk, all the wooden metal rod to beat the thief and hit it and strip him naked. It's so terrible, man. I think if you hate the thief, you can just kill him fast. Why do something so cruel just because he's a thief? I think after all, he just want to make a living, and in poor countries, you may not find a job easily. Many poor countries have very, very high unemployment rate. So you could just kill him. You better kill him fast, instead of lynch him and and torture him until he's handicapped, handicapped for life. Oh, I think this is really, really terrible. Oh, peace for the world.